Hey, it's track and field season, and you know what that means, right? It's time for shin splints. What are shin splints? Shin splints are the body telling you you've done too much, too long, or too soon in the increase in mileage. The Reynolds wrap, if you will, the sausage casing around that bone is inflamed, it's irritated, and it's sending out those painful vibes. What can we do? First place to start, look at your running form. Number one reason why we have shin splints, we're landing either with our foot in front of us, what we kind of call a heel strike, which is actually kind of putting the brakes on before we try and accelerate, or we're landing on the balls of our foot, our toes, and we're asking our muscles here locally to try and provide more stability to control that and keep that foot from dropping. So the best running form, in essence, is going to be this. When you're running, have your foot land directly underneath you, maximize that propulsion phase, reset, recycle, boom, land, and keep going from there. Be very, very, very conscious if you're braking to accelerate. And there's different drills for that too, we'll cover a different day. Number two, look at your calf mobility. So we talked about, let's go over here. We talked about before a quick little drill to assess your calf mobility, right? So what we can do is put one foot up against the wall, working parallel. Put your other foot in there perpendicular. Now, with keeping your heel flat, your knee should be able to get to that wall. If it can't, we don't have enough slack in here for your shock absorbers. Imagine driving a car over railroad tracks. Same thing for your body, right? We need some good shock. So the test becomes the exercise, becomes the homework. If we can't get there, stay there and start to floss, move, drive that knee forward until we get some better mobility here over time. Our second set of shock absorbers, eccentric quad control. So we can balance on one leg and slide our other foot forward, working that quad's ability to better absorb ground reaction forces. Working up the chain, our next potential cause, lack of glute and core control. When we're running, we want our calves and our quads trying to absorb ground reaction forces, but we also need our core and our glutes taking those forces, putting them into the ground, not letting them reside in our tissues. So work on some glute activities. What are some of those real quick? We can talk about doing some airplanes where we get on one foot, pretend our hips and pelvis are an airplane, moving our hips away from a knee, back in towards, moving away, back in towards, coming through there. We can do some things called hip hikers, where maybe we get a yoga block, something kind of small, and we intentionally try and lift one pelvis up towards the sky, working through there for some lateral glute activity. We could do something where we balance on one leg, pretend we're at the beach, grab a handful of sand, come up and pop, getting some ankle stability, getting some glute, getting some core, a lot of good things. Now, if those shins are still talking to you, right, one thing you can do, a little soft tissue work. So what we're gonna do is have you use your fingers, maybe a thumb. You're gonna come right in where that tibia, that inner bone that's inflamed, between there and kind of the back half of our calf, Achilles region. We're gonna come through, kind of gliding through there, and you're gonna move your foot up and away and down and in, and just sweeping nice and easy motions, working through there. Now be prepared. This is gonna be very flavorful, as in breathe, work through it, let time be your ally. Spend at least 3 or 5 minutes going through there to get those tissues to feel a little bit better, create a little bit more slack. But again, from the top, running mechanics, calf mobility, eccentric quad, better glute, better core, give those things a try.